You know, Sesame Street taught me it's okay if you're in inner city.
Yes!
We're doing this?
Eric, I think we've reached the point where Jake is just unspookable.
I mean, you still got me.
Yeah?
It just, I was like, I wasn't expecting it.
Good. You know what I wasn't expecting?
What?
Fantastic Four.
You weren't. What were you expecting?
What were you expecting? Prince Charming,
Nice. Shrek, 2001.
starring Chris Farley.
Let's just I guess we talk spoilers, right? Because does
Yeah.
anybody care? Is anybody out there like,
No, you
I'm
guys
still
are good.
planning to see Fantastic Four.
Well, no, yeah.
And I
no.
don't want to know anything about it.
No.
If so, you're fucked.
Yes.
Fantastic Foe. This movie.
Opening statements, I guess.
Well, no. Well, let's just really retread here.
It's not good.
There are some brilliant. Wait a minute. There's some brilliant videos. Excuse me. I'm way further back than you guys are right now. I'm not talking about the movie, the making of.
Gotcha.
Some brilliant videos out there that I highly recommend that really do a great job summarizing
Sensationalized.
summarizing what happened. Wrong, completely wrong. Summarizing what happened or what we think has happened, because now I don't believe some things.
I don't know
It's way more he said she said than I realized.
Yeah, there's a lot of rumors going around. Some of those rumors have a lot
Merit.
of weight to them.
Yep. And some of them are weaker now having seen the movie. But basically, at the core of it, Josh Trank, director, signed on to make this movie with 20th Century Fox.
Yes, and he told Fox that I want to make
This is what we're going to do.
And they
This is
said,
what we're gonna do.
Okay. Cool.
Now, apparently, in the middle of production or toward the end of production or something like that, 20th Century Fox changed their minds, whether that's because he was an asshole, they didn't like the movie.
Well,
Who knows?
I mean, before apparently what happened is that he didn't even shoot enough footage.
Whatever it is, they needed. They decided they wanted to change a lot, add stuff, shoot more stuff.
Whether
they
or
did a
not
lot of
he's a
big reshoots.
drug addict or not
Here's
is
the
up to
thing:
interpretation.
the fact that they lied about the reshoots is a big deal to me, because they said like, oh no, it's just a couple of pickups, no big deal. It's the entire ending of the movie.
It's like the entire
So
movie.
that's why I'm like, well, wait a minute now. 20th Century Fox claimed a lot of these things that we know to be true, and now they lied, so I don't know what's true.
Yeah.
That being said, we got a Frankenstein mishmash, monster mash of a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh my
I would
God.
say like to review this movie is kind of like picking on a retarded kid. It's like, what's the point? It's like, yeah, it sucked, but it's like
You're dead on. You're dead on. Yeah, he barely placed, but he still ran the race.
yeah.
Look,
Except everybody else who you're trying to explain that to is really mad at you for even just trying to explain that. At least he ran the
yeah.
race.
We're also living in a world where everyone hates retarded people.
Oh, no.
Because everybody, without even seeing the movie, hates the movie no matter what.
Yep. Oh,
So
yeah.
right off the bat, you don't even see the movie and you hate the movie.
God forbid I went to try and defend little semblances of this movie.
Well, mainly just
Which
like
I
you can't
want
say you hate the movie until you see the movie. Now we've all seen it.
100%. I went.
So now
I
we
saw
can
it,
say.
and now I can say it's not that good.
No,
it's
it's,
not good. It's not a good movie.
But here's the thing: it's more devastating than I could have ever imagined because
There's
I absolutely loved the first hour.
oh, see, I
All right.
So it's
see.
even worse that the last 40 minutes suck so bad, because if the whole thing sucked, I could write it off as it sucked. But for me personally, now a lot of people say they didn't like the any of it, and that's fine. But for me, the fact that I really was into it and then it boom right off the deep end makes it even worse than if it all sucked.
My thing is, if even if that was the ending, like, okay, it resorted to just a typical save the world. Why? Okay, because he's bad.
he's
Save
bad
it.
guy.
Right,
If,
right.
If they had an extra 45 minutes, maybe
to set
and
up,
I
or
cared-
20 minutes.
No, I'd give it a while. They needed a
Yeah?
lot more because I still didn't know who these people were.
Okay.
Oh,
Why
no,
they
yeah,
were
that
doing
was-
what
Fantastic
they
Four?
Yeah.
Did not know
Oh
who
man,
they
I
were.
felt like I knew the Fantastic Four. I just
Nope.
didn't, and I also
Yeah.
felt like I knew Doom before he became Doom.
Really?
Like
See, I would say
felt
that
I
was
got
like the
him.
worst aspect of the whole movie is that like it felt like none of the characters were anything. It just
Yeah.
felt like
They
people.
could have been though. I felt like Ben.
You know what?
Grimm
Part of it
could
is
have
probably because I already have seen the characters. I'm sure. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So I'm like, I
probably.
get it.
It feels. It's like. How would you explain Sue Storm without mentioning the words
Invisible or woman.
smart?
Oh.
Without mentioning the words smart and blonde. How
Indie
would-
music.
How?
She,
yeah,
she reads patterns, and she's nice. Well, she's not even. Really
But actually, well, here's the thing. I will
Yeah.
say, she was ironically in a world where it's all like women need
Mm.
more roles. She didn't even get to go to the planet. She
I
was an
like,
afterthought.
Really?
Yeah,
And
she
then-
accidentally got burned.
And then she got hit with an aftershock, and like,
Boom.
she still got powers.
Yeah, so that was that was pretty weird. And I'm sure that seemed like it was part of Josh Trank's vision too. So that was pretty
But
weird.
once they got their powers and like they're all like dealing with it for a split second, like split second of Cronenberg inspiration, I thought that was
That
good.
it felt like the movie.
The very middle is the best part of the movie. The very that middle
that-
5-10 minutes,
so all over
right
the
when they
place,
get
though.
back to the 1 year later. 1 year later is where it goes off the shitter.
As soon as that happened, I
That's
was
the
like,
end.
Wait.
Yeah, I knew in the theater. I was like, oh, it's all over. That 1 year later,
Yeah.
like I give a fuck.
It's
and
like
it happened so abruptly.
Oh, it was ridiculous.
so. I'm trying to picture. All right, so
Now, by the way, we don't know if that was Josh Trank's. We don't know what. I just want to make sure that's clear.
Yeah.
I don't know what was Josh
we can
Trank's.
take
I
a
can
pretty
guess.
good. We can take a pretty
yes,
good guess.
I can guess he didn't have a 1 year later in mind.
All
but
right.
just to be fair,
Here's
I
what
don't know.
happened. I'm pretty sure this is what happened.
Okay.
They hired Josh Trank. He just came off of Chronicle.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of movie studios are hiring indie directors now because they can push them around and
Right.
they know they can do that.
Andrew Webb,
So
Michael Webb.
So-
what is his name?
Marcus Webb.
it's kind of like it's a fault on everybody because Josh Trank went. All right, he said my Fantastic Four is going to be like this crazy body horror.
It's gonna be Chronicle 2.
It's
You're
going to
love
be
it.
like this. He used the word disabilities. It's,
Yep.
like, it's
It reminded
crazy
me of
weird.
American Werewolf in London, actually.
Yeah, this
The middle
crazy
of it.
weird thing. And they said, whatever,
The
man,
transformation
go.
scene. Yeah.
And so I think even
Yeah, he flew too close to the sun.
Yeah,
he
and-
believed that everything he was pitching was going to happen, and I
Yeah.
think that he should have had more
I mean,
reserve.
I'd say if they went like full on, like crazy, like his idea, like then maybe we could have had something. But if they,
I think we would have. That's what drives me
I
nuts.
really
Yeah.
Drives me
want to
nuts.
know what the whole crescendo would have been if it wasn't Doom is bad and the planet's gonna die.
Oh no, I don't think there was any. Well, actually, apparently,
there
according to
nothing,
John
or was it
Campy on
like
Collider, right, he said
Yeah.
that there were 3 action set pieces that Josh Trank had in mind that were cut. Now, have you seen that the Fantastic Car was supposed to be in the movie?
Yes. Uh-huh.
They shot it.
Yeah.
They shot
Yeah.
the whole Fantastic Car
Yeah.
scene. They even set it up at the beginning when little boy
Yeah.
Blue says, "Oh no, I'm not working on my flying car anymore." They apparently flew it back to the planet Zero to get Doom or some shit. So similar, but not going through a fucking portal, I guess.
Yeah.
But
so yeah, like Frankenstein.
what the hell?
Yeah, so
It is
Frankenstein.
Frankenstein.
Yeah.
This movie is a monster in itself.
Definitely, definitely.
Now, speaking of monsters, though, what I've been saying is if you throw the first hour of this movie into black and white, it's a pretty solid fucking classic horror movie, in my opinion.
I wouldn't. That's crazy.
I think so.
I would say it's still not that good of a movie.
I think the middle of it is so fucking. I thought it was scary, honestly scary.
Oh, once they're
when,
once they're in Area 57.
when he is
Yeah, but they
when
all
his
be-
feet are stuck and he crawls across the room to go save Ben, who by the way almost made me fucking cry. Jamie Bell fucking was the
I like
best
him.
part of the fucking
I
movie
like him.
acting wise. When just hearing him go, help me, I
It was kinda
totally
scary.
believed it.
It was kind of scary.
But it was scary.
Help
And then, but
me.
him crawling across and then looking back and seeing his fucking legs stretched out and passing out. And then him with his arms all stretched out and him pulling him back in, which I thought that effect was amazing. It's like the whole budget went to his arms and that was it.
When he was sucking him in.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep. And then when he's up in the vent and he's pulling himself forward,
Yeah.
actually putting his arms to use,
Yeah.
All right,
I
so
was
yeah,
like,
here's
fuck,
the
this is
thing.
amazing. Why is this movie so bad? And
All right.
then I found out why a few minutes later. But
Here-
if that was black and white, it would be a spooky ghost movie, scary movie.
If I was Fox, right, Josh Trank comes to me. He's like, here's this cut of the movie. And Fox is like, oh,
This is
okay.
so boring.
Let's see what it is. And they see it. They see all the horror. And
Why
they're
is
like,
the ending an existential battle?
Yeah.
I feel like that's.
God, I
all we
wish.
had.
yeah, they're like, we
This could have
can't.
been Hulk.
They're like, we can't sell this to anybody because kids are not gonna like this. You know, this is the Fantastic Four. Like, we're trying to make a superhero movie that's gonna be a big thing.
And that's their
And
mistake.
Their
Because
mistake
they already
was
tried it that way and it didn't work.
Their
So
mistake
people
was
wanted
hiring
something different.
Hiring Josh Trank was their mistake.
I think their mistake is trying to do
yeah.
the same fucking movie again. They
Because
They wanted to do the same movie
when
again.
Josh Trank said that because Josh Trank said from the beginning that he wanted to do like this crazy dark body
Right.
horror kind
so
of
in
thing.
all fairness, he said that from the start. There was
And-
never anything else.
and then I
They
mean,
fucked up.
Even though that's kind of out of context, it's a cool idea for a movie.
And
Right.
and
If it
Fantastic
wasn't
Four?
Fantastic Four.
No,
And clearly,
yeah.
clearly they were on board because they got a great cast. Those actors are all great.
Oh, I thought all the cast was really
Not
great.
in
Yeah,
this movie,
maybe
but they are
maybe
great.
not enough character development, but I thought acting-wise, I thought they all did a great job for what they were given.
yeah, it was like whatever. They didn't
I-
have anything.
but it's
I
like
believe that they were really into it, though. I feel really bad for them.
I feel so bad for
I
everybody.
feel so
Yeah,
bad for them.
It's,
I do.
But it's. I've never seen anything like it. When
no,
you,
this is,
no. When
that's
you
why I
take-
say it's worth
that's our
seeing.
box
It's
quote.
so weird.
I mean,
I've never seen anything
specifically like when back to the kind of Frankenstein analogy.
yes.
You take
And by that I mean, of course, it's just parts of different
mishmash.
movies put together.
You take the scene of him stretched out, right? Like that's
and put
terrifying.
that next to
Grotesque.
Put it next to the ending when they're like, "We're the Fantastic
punching
Four."
him from that ending.
Yeah.
Gotta
So
say,
put those
it's
two-
fantastic.
Put those two scenes together. They're like two
Completely different.
Completely different movies.
Absolutely, and they literally are.
Yeah, they literally are. Literally.
Now,
You know what I?
Yeah.
No, go
well,
ahead.
no, go ahead because I was just
gonna
going to
say,
move on to another thing.
Like we've been saying, there are pockets of them trying something different, like with the horror stuff. I also really like that South America scene. As much as the special effects were awful,
up until the face. Yeah.
as much as
You
the
know
special
what's
effects
funny?
were awful, just the fact that like Mr. Fantastic in a jungle taking people out. I was
it
like,
was very Hulk.
All right, they're trying something
Yeah.
different. They're like, all right, what if we put Mr. Fantastic or Reed in this situation?
Yeah, no, none of them were their
and
names.
I was like, all right, at least they're putting them in a weird situation.
Yeah.
That's cool. They're
None of
trying
them
something.
deserve to have their monikers, by the way, that are all over the
Yeah.
posters in New York City, like Mr.
Yeah.
Fantastic, Invisible Woman. It's like you don't
I
deserve those
kinda
names.
Liked, especially if this movie was 20, 30 minutes longer and there was more character development. I would have loved just getting to know him as Reed. He's just Reed.
Sure.
When I saw the movie, I was like, oh, that guy
Yeah.
is Reed.
Yep.
But it's like the thing is like when they don't use their powers. It's
No,
like they don't
nothing
use
No,
happens.
the only time
Nothing
that
happens.
the
Yeah.
only time that the power is actually used properly, I think, is when he's like in the vent.
Yeah.
'Cause I'm like, that is something you could actually use it for.
And when he
It's
jumps
not
over the railing.
dancing.
And
yeah, that was good.
When the ribs guy died, he
but
jumped
that's
over
about
the
it. Ribs guy.
But then
That's
it's like
about
after
it. Was it
that
Freddy?
1 year the 1 year time skip, it's like, oh, we just know all our powers already.
Yeah.
I
It was
would have.
so
Okay, if the
funny.
last 40 minutes could have been them, literally,
Figuring
if
it
it was
out.
just one shot of them brutally, help, like figuring out their powers, I would have fucking loved it.
The only way that
Loved
worked,
it.
The
Yeah.
1 year later thing didn't work for me because, especially just so suddenly, Johnny Storm knows how to fly and throw fireballs. But where it did work with me was that Ben was totally just left behind and got the short end of the stick.
If you told me that the Thing would be the emotional arc of any
Yeah.
movie ever, I wouldn't believe you. But he
Yeah.
really was the
Yeah,
emotional.
but like it's
impact for me.
specifically that
He was still good throughout. His the
yeah.
voice acting was really great. I
Yeah,
thought
yeah,
throughout.
yeah.
And like the stuff that they would just like kind of gloss over and not talk about because I guess they didn't want to. There's a scene where the Thing is watching himself like taking out people and says
Oh,
confirmed
is it-
kills, 43 confirmed kills.
like,
And I'm like, holy shit, this is a big thing that's happening right
Literally.
now. Like, I mean,
This
yeah.
is a bad thing.
like I mean like in as a plot device, like
It's just like.
he's like a murderer
Racked
now,
with
so it's-
guilt.
He's
And
racked
also,
with
Yeah.
guilt.
complete, you got to mention your favorite part when he throws the piece of the tank.
Oh, yeah, the special effects are a
and
whole different-
yeah, with all of the millions of dollars worth
This is
of
part of the reshoots, probably. They'll keep
probably
in mind.
part of the reshoots, but
Some fucking kid in After Effects did it.
He throws the part of the tank, and you see
It
it,
just
just
vanishes.
vanish.
Actually,
Like-
some kid in After Effects could have done it better.
Yeah,
I like that.
YouTube people.
Like I said, with the fact that they had
You like
they
that?
They had the fact that they had
Yeah.
that they had Reed in South America. That the fact that they had Ben Grimm working for the military on his own, just kind of like shitty.
Yeah,
All
I
those
liked where they
scenes-
ended
they're
up at
putting them,
first.
they're trying different things. I was like,
The
all right.
storms were boring, but
all those scenes from
Yeah,
the trailer
really
where he
boring.
drops out from the helicopter.
yeah, gone.
Nothing.
There's somebody on Twitter did a whole thing of
Oh,
like
yeah,
so many
lots
scenes that
of
were in the
missing
trailer.
scenes.
But I mean,
Yeah.
it's not super surprising because we know what happened. We know they reshot a lot of
Yeah.
it, so we know.
Yeah.
But it's like, okay, so here's the thing. Nobody could have
Asked
said
for this.
No. Nobody could have said that this is a good idea. There's nobody at. I think this is some kind of sabotage. Because nobody. Think about it. Nobody can be
You're
that
such
stupid.
a 4chan conspiracist.
It's not. It's not.
It's
a
not.
conspiracy.
No, he's not. I mean,
because like they couldn't have said like let's whip this up in a fucking weekend and then throw it out and like they must have known like it was gonna bomb. I mean like they must.
You think maybe like part way through the production, they realized that
Kevin
and they were like,
Feige
we
came
need
in
to
and like
cut and
pulled
run.
on a couple of cables and
I mean like.
he pulled some things out of the wall.
No, he hired.
All right,
Mole
so like.
to go in on the production.
Mole Man was supposed to be in this
Yeah.
movie. Remember? And now
Oh,
he's
God.
the government guy.
Holy
Uh,
shit!
No, they got rid of the mole.
It's like when a movie studio finishes a movie, you know, they all watch it, of course. Everybody, the producers,
I guess.
all the
Not
producers,
Josh Trank. He watched it
Yeah.
opening weekend, I think.
and so
'Cause
like
he tweeted when he got out of it.
yeah, everybody involved in the
That
you
tweet
know,
went out, by the way, right
Yeah.
when I got out as well.
We'll
so.
talk about that.
Okay.
Everybody involved in the reshoots. They watch the movie. It ends. You know, curtains come back or
And
whatever.
then they passed out some Kool-Aid.
and they just go. Yeah, they pass out the Kool-Aid.
and everybody,
Yeah.
good night.
So
It's been long enough to make jokes, right? Yeah.
so here, let's. I wanted to get a little bit into Josh Trank.
Okay. And then there's one major thing we have to talk about, so it's going to be very divisive.
So one of the rumors that may or may not have any validity to it is that he caused a lot of damage to one of his rooms he was staying in, like thousands of dollars.
While they were shooting.
And it was,
he apparently, remember when he was on Reddit or whatever, he apparently claimed that he did do that.
and like yeah, that was a whole.
And
bunch
he
of
was like,
proof
but
to
whatever.
that. So I mean, I'm grasping at straws here, but I think this is definitely sabotage
For Josh
Trank. I think
nobody cares about Josh. Like, he's not a big enough name. Nobody knows. If I said that to anybody in my family, they'd be like, "What is that? What is that? Put down a horse?"
No, just for like
a Josh Trank.
Just like, all right, I'm at like this is like a Hollywood like blacklist kind of thing.
guess.
Like you embarrassed me, so I'm gonna destroy. I'm
you know
gonna
what's
make
really funny about that though. He comes out looking like a hero from this,
or not, or
he already did, because everybody is on the side of
he's a
Josh
martyr.
Trank got fucked.
Yeah.
Yep. He's a fucking martyr. Now, if he comes out and he's going to make an indie movie now, he doesn't have Star Wars, he's going to make a tiny little movie. He will make a movie. He can do whatever he wants. He's got enough money to make a movie. He's going to make a little movie, and if it is fucking great, even, like, I didn't love Chronicle. I know you really didn't like Chronicle.
I liked it.
I enjoyed it the first time, and then I saw it again, and I was like, oh, I really don't like this as much. But that being said, it was generally very favorable reviews.
Yeah.
So, he has another movie like Chronicle, at least like Chronicle, if not better. He's going to be a fucking hero, because they're going to really look at Fantastic Four and go, that guy did not make that movie. And even if he did, even if most of that was him and we're all wrong, which I don't think we are, he still comes out looking like a fucking hero. So I think it backfired on 20th Century Fox and at the box office as well. They really got fucked here.
They must have known. That's what I'm saying. They must have known it was going to
If they really are trying to do that, then they got fucked so hard, it backfired so hard.
Yeah.
It backfired Johnny Storm so hard.
I don't know. I think
I don't think they did that though, because it seems like not worth it.
Everybody's a little bit to blame.
I think so as well.
Yeah.
Well, except for Josh Trank
Like
at the start of it, pitching his idea, them saying yes, and then going back on
that's
it.
Because
but
if
it
it
could
wasn't-
That's not
have
his
been making
fault.
a shitty movie.
But I actually heard some rumors that
It's pre-production, baby.
I actually heard some rumors that within all of these grapevines and webs in Hollywood, that maybe this could have been Marvel pushing things in a
That would be great.
favorable direction.
Fox is never going to get rid of the rights, though,
Never.
out of spite, if nothing else,
Yeah.
at this point. Now,
Bitter
listen,
fight.
the last thing, speaking of a bitter fight, the last thing that I think we need to talk about here, I think we've talked about everything but one major aspect. And that major aspect is
Doctor Doom.
Dr. Doom.
Yeah.
Loved him.
I wouldn't go that far. Because
I actually
there
thought he was
wasn't
pretty
enough.
fucking. Well, no, I'm sorry, not when he went to his fucking planet. The whole scene with him, I thought the way he looked and the scene with him blowing people's heads up, I thought was so fucking cool.
I thought it was very cool. I love
Keep in
that.
mind, I don't know a fucking
didn't
thing
love
about
that.
Doctor Doom from the comics, and
Yeah.
that's why I like him, because
right.
I don't know
So,
anything about Doctor Doom.
I've always been with Doom. I've
So
always
I'm
been
completely outside.
with Doctor Doom. I've always been like, okay, like he's an iconic Marvel character. He
I
shows
don't
up
know.
everywhere. He has some interesting elements to him, but ultimately, like, I'm up for him being interpreted differently because he's a little, he's very comic book.
Now he was technically handled perfectly in the last Fantastic Four movies.
Yeah.
Like,
but
looking back, that was
Yeah.
perfect. He looked perfect.
But here's the thing. That's a cool scene maybe if it was in a
Not
music
Fantastic
video.
Four.
If that was in a music
see,
video, maybe.
so-
But there was no emotion behind that scene because I'm like, why is he killing everybody?
Right. Okay,
Like,
that's
why is
well,
he?
They didn't give him anything other than in the
See-
beginning he was just like the world needs to die.
fucking
'cause it
hell.
sucks
They
here.
did, but also he fell into the goop and was there for a year.
But then he just
I'd be pretty
starts-
pissed if you
So
ditched
he's
me.
just crazy and bad.
I don't know. I actually got a little bit more out of it. I think he was left for dead in the goop for a year.
I'm sorry,
And came
I-
back and said, "Fuck all y'all," and killed everybody.
I just kind of like the way he looked. I thought that
I
was a
thought he
little
looked-
inspired.
I thought he, to me, that's like the new Michael Myers mask. That thing was fucking scary.
really scary.
The fact that it was just no movement, but it was a face.
Yeah, and the fact that you
And
could
the
see the
fact that-
mask fused onto his mouth.
And also, the
everything.
best thing in the world is it wasn't random. He got vacuum sucked into his fucking costume.
Yeah.
I
like
like
his,
that.
his suit. What a great idea! I thought that was such a great idea.
Yeah.
God damn it! And when he glowed, his fucking walking down the hallway. God, I thought that was so cool.
But I wonder
again,
what that-
I don't know Doctor Doom, so
Because he seemed like he was part of the plan from the beginning. So I wonder what
They
he
probably
was
cut
ultimately-
some of his
I
stuff.
wonder what he was gonna go do other than just fly back to his portal
Well, no,
world. and
Mole
blow
Man
up
was
the
the
planet.
plan.
Mole Man was originally in it too.
You know
Was
what?
that Josh Trank?
Yeah, but Mole Man, like,
What the?
fucking.
But no, here's the thing. What they were trying to do, probably, instead of having another Fantastic Four movie where they fight Doom, have Mole Man first and then fight Doom
Yeah, that
later.
would've been cool.
Well, I think what they were doing was setting up the character of Mole Man in this, and he wasn't supposed to be Mole Man in this, and they just took the guy's name out. Like, that guy still, that guy that's in the movie, Mr. Pendansky from Holes, he still could be Mole Man. They just never said his character's name because they're probably cutting it. They
I mean,
don't
this
care.
is like the fourth movie in a row where it was just Doom was the bad guy.
What made the
Yeah.
what made the additions and changes really bad was the fact that they gave Miles Teller so much dialogue that just like explained it all away.
Yeah, we
He
got to
was
do
like-
this, we got to do
He
that.
goes, Doom's going over there to blow up the planet. We're gonna have to stop him because
Oh,
he's the
there
source
was-
of the power.
It's so big.
There was-
Miles Teller must have felt like shit.
There was
Yeah,
one
yeah.
shot where I was like, this is... I could see it in his eyes. He runs into frame. Horrible shot. He just runs into frame. He's like...
Slightly from
in a
above.
green
Yeah, he's like,
screen land?
he's like, Doom, stop. It was I was like, what? wow, like this is not a movie.
Doom,
It's like, this
stop. Real quick,
yeah.
by the way, on Doctor Doom. So people complained when they announced that he was going to be Victor Domashev.
Oh, this whole
Then they
thing,
changed
yeah.
it from Victor Domashev to Victor Von Doom, and people complained. Not at 20th Century Fox. I forgot the other party that is to blame is you, baby. They can't make a fucking movie anymore because of you. Everybody, not you specifically, maybe not us specifically, but everybody.
The problem for me,
everybody
the changes
complains.
weren't even complete because his name is Victor Von Doom, and then she goes, "Okay, whatever, Doctor Doom."
They should have cut that line
And he's
out.
like-
Then it didn't make any
and
sense.
He's like, yes,
That's my name. I'm
That's my
Doctor
name.
Doom.
Yeah.
Actually,
I'm
it's
still going
it's
for my
Von Doom,
doctorate,
bitch. It's Dr. Von Doom.
Yeah, because I would have made. Yeah, it would have.
Von is not my
if it's-
middle
it was-
name. It's
yeah,
not
if it-
Vince Von Doom.
If it was Domashev, that would have. Ah, man, that was funny.
But
That would have
Yeah.
worked as a joke.
yes, then it would have worked as a joke.
Now,
But do you agree with me here, by the way, about that? I do think that. So it's Josh Trank, it's 20th Century Fox, and it's people, because you can't 20th Century Fox.
We're all to blame.
Yeah, no, we
It
are.
was
20th Century Fox couldn't let that movie happen because they are like, oh, people don't want that. What do you fucking want?
You know
What do
did
you
it right?
want?
You know what did it right? Incredibles. Look
Oh,
at
yeah,
look at the
definitely.
Incredibles. The
That's a
Incredibles-
very different type of movie, though.
No, it doesn't have to be though. The Incredibles, you could say, is a perfect Fantastic Four movie.
Oh, and everybody says that.
In
yes.
the high-flying 50s style that Fantastic
Yeah.
Four originally started
So
as.
then why didn't they make this movie set in the 50s?
Yeah, they go. Yeah, have that kind of like that 50 soundtrack, like.
Could have been cool. But you know what else could have been cool?
Yeah.
If they at least were confident with their monster movie attempt. You would have definitely liked it more if they were confident with it at least.
Oh, of course.
No
If-
question.
Even if it was a bad movie.
It would have at least been slightly better in your mind just because at least they fucking followed through. But this was the biggest coward of a movie. And that's the number one offense more than anything, is that this was cowardly and fucking ridiculous.
It's because there was just too many.
nothing.
Too many cooks.
Too many cooks.
I think, and you know what made the whole thing,
really
that
depressing.
whole extra, that whole thing added on at the end, like with them saving the world and whatever. What made it feel even more incomplete was that they did it. They flew back down to Earth. This triumphant music swelled like a
As
theme.
they look over a bunch of...
Yeah, like a
Yeah.
okay, but that's
Oh, an
the thing.
awful theme.
A theme
The music
that-
in the end was
Oh.
so
No,
bad.
even if it was so bad, it would have worked if it was anywhere else in the movie. But the fact that this music just came out of nowhere, I'm like, huh? I didn't even think there was music in the rest of the movie.
Oh, yeah.
There wasn't.
And then they're just looking over the
no,
devastation.
you know what the music was?
Yeah.
In the scary part, when he looks over and sees
Yeah.
Johnny Storm on fire, and he's like, "My friend, my friend is on fire!" And it's like,
Yeah, that was fucked up. That was like a dead man on
It
fire.
was terrifying. Throw it in black and white and give it to me.
Jesus.
And that's my story.
I just.
Look,
I'm
there's
so upset because
this was an
yeah.
interesting fucking situation, though. People have been asking me, is it worth seeing? And I say,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Wow.
Tim Heidecker's in it, so that was a perfect reference.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely worth seeing
No,
if you're
no.
interested in cinema
But-
history.
but at the
because
same
this
time-
is
Okay.
going down in the books as one of the greatest culminations of everything we
fuck-ups.
talk about.
But at the
Yeah.
same time,
My
what
God.
Mike said is very important. He said, and I don't usually agree with like this type of hyperbole. It's not hyperbole. It wasn't a movie.
Yeah, it
It
wasn't
was
a movie.
not a movie.
No, it's
I walked
it's,
out,
it's
I went,
a-
oh,
I don't know
well,
what.
Yeah.
This is we basically
Half
all
a movie.
went into the editing bay and gave it
Yeah.
a thumbs down, try again.
Yeah.
That's what we did, and there is no movie. Like the movie doesn't exist. There is a movie in there somewhere, I think, but it.
I knew,
D-
like
no,
I feel.
it's-
I was
this
like,
was
I
not
coulda
it.
cared about those characters.
I
coulda cared
actually
about
I
it.
went so far as I did. I cared about Ben
I
Grimm
almost
quite a
did.
bit.
I
I
almost
really
did.
did. But Fantastic Four. You know what? Like, look, it's like if someone said you like Fantastic Four, it's like, no, it's a bad movie, but I absolutely love talking about it. It's so interesting. The
It's a
whole thing
study.
is so fascinating.
How long?
I could write a fucking research paper about this thing.
How
I
long?
won't.
A study in the state of
How
Hollywood.
long? What? Until
All
we
right,
don't care?
so this is obviously they are not going to continue this. They said they are, but that's
Yeah.
obviously a lie.
Well,
That's them standing
we'll
strong
talk
while-
about that on pretty much
They're,
it.
they're standing
Yeah.
We'll talk
strong
about
while-
that
yeah.
tweet more because that's more businessy. We'll Josh Trank's tweet. We'll talk about the sequel news. We'll talk about the box office on pretty much it.
So here's
I don't really know what they could. I don't want to see more because I would want to see what Josh Trank would do. I don't want to see like they bring in fucking Tim Story again.
well here's
I don't
my
want to see that. I don't care.
Here's my prediction for the next 10 years.
Do it.
This whole, this
Oh.
this pendulum swing. We're in this kind of dark and gritty superhero age right now, but I think it's gonna start getting to bright and bouncy, super fun, super fun superhero.
I would say it's
movies.
already there. In some cases, Ant-Man was pretty bright.
That's what I'm saying.
don't
It's
know.
it's getting there.
Oh, you're saying we're on the upswing.
We're on
okay,
the upswing.
Right, I see.
Because like I said, if we could
Even Batman v Superman is cartoony looking. It's dark and gritty.
I would say that's like
Too
on
much
the
nighttime
opposite end of
scenes.
the.
But I'm just saying
spectrum,
it's dark and gritty. But they're going. Oh no, they're with him swinging around and stuff. It looks a little more cartoony.
Okay, all right, yeah. In that
So
regard,
even the
yeah.
dark and gritty movies are starting to go toward that
Yes.
a little bit.
So, I think, like I said before, if we could get I said a long time ago that Fantastic Four just might not work as a movie. But if you could do like an Incredibles thing where it's like
I'm just so down to see
and
it.
it's so fun, like a fun Fantastic Four movie.
But guess what?
So-
That won't matter if they don't commit, like they did with this. They didn't commit to anything. They
Ladies and
committed to like
gentlemen,
3 different movies.
You gotta commit.
You gotta commit.
You gotta commit, and that's pretty much it.
Wish my grandpa committed suicide.
He's still around.
Yeah.